batches of more than 70 summonses to be handled all together. Owen Fung reports.
ATV's Executive Director Ip Kapo and Senior Vice President Lau Lan Chong were at the hearing at the Sha Tin Magistracy this morning. Lau was representing the embattled station, which was slapped with 17 summonses over delays in salary payments from July to September. Ip has been served with another 17 summonses covering the same period. The prosecution requested that the hearing be adjourned until the end of February. It cited a second batch of 42 Labour Department summonses covering late salaries for November that had not yet been served. ATV's legal representative supported postponing the hearing, saying they needed more time to seek further legal advice. But Principal Magistrate Andrew Ma rejected the request, saying in the interest of justice, no one wants the matter to be delayed. Ma also ordered the government to serve the second batch of 42 summonses to IP and ATV in person rather than by mail to speed up the process. The two sets of summonses will now be heard together in a hearing set for February 13th. ATV's woes have been mounting after revelations this week that it hasn't paid its license fees to the government. It also hasn't paid its staff their December salaries. And a Labour Tribunal hearing will be held on Monday involving dozens of former employees who say they're owed severance pay. Owen Fung, TVB News.
Ahead of the Lunar New Year holiday, the Customs and Excise Department is cracking down on the sale of counterfeit luxury goods. In a series of raids, Customs and police officers seized over $3 million worth of counterfeit goods and made 4 arrests. João da Silva has the details.
Watches, sunglasses, handbags and other leather goods. Customs and police officers joined forces to crack down on stores selling counterfeit luxury products in Mongkok and Tsim Sha Tsui. They came away with 3,900 suspected counterfeit goods worth $3.37 million and arrested 4 men aged 23 to 47. In a single operation, a retail store in Mongkok was found selling both genuine and counterfeit products, except the counterfeits were being sold at a discount. During the investigation, officers were led to a Chunwan warehouse where they found hundreds of fake goods worth over $1 million. They also hit 3 other clandestine storehouses seizing luxury counterfeit goods valued at more than $2 million.
We believe that mainly from nearby regions, say the mainland. And for the special case, the Mongkok shop, as we know, he ordered the goods from by himself from mainland. It is especially tailor-made for his need.
It is suspected that in this case the goods were delivered to Hong Kong by express courier. The operations were conducted ahead of the Lunar New Year holiday when tourists flocked to Hong Kong's many luxury shops.
Customs officers say that when it comes to high-quality counterfeit goods, such as these ones, it may be very difficult for the regular shopper to distinguish them from the genuine ones. For that reason, it may be better to purchase them from official brand stores or from authorized resellers. João da Silva, TVB News.
Over to Mexico City, where a maternity and children's hospital was severely damaged after a gas truck exploded outside. Yesterday's massive blast killed 3 people and left 70 others injured.
Injured and bleeding mothers clutching their infants in their arms were seen fleeing the shattered maternity hospital. Several babies were found alive underneath the rubble as rescue workers feverishly dug through the broken concrete and twisted metal for survivors. A 25-year-old nurse and a newborn baby died at the scene. Hours later, another infant died from injuries sustained. The explosion occurred just after 7 in the morning local time. That's when a tanker truck was making a routine delivery of gas to the hospital when gas was detected leaking from the hose. While tanker workers struggled for about 20 minutes to repair the leak, a large cloud of gas formed. People had just started evacuating the hospital when the explosion ripped through the building. The blast sent up an enormous fireball into the air with plumes of smoke and dust. Those who were hurt were rushed to hospital for treatment. Many of them were mothers who suffered burns, fractures, and bruises by shielding their babies. More than a dozen infants were among the injured. Some of those hurt are in serious condition. President Enrique Peña Nieto and the mayor of Mexico City visited the victims in hospital and vowed to punish those responsible. 3 people have been detained in connection with the gas truck explosion. 2 of them are employees of the Express Nieto company who, despite being hospitalized with injuries, remain in police custody. According to local media reports, the company has a poor safety record, listing a total of 7 serious accidents over the past 7 years.
In the Netherlands, a 19-year-old with a fake weapon managed to get into a television station and demanded airtime before police stormed in and arrested him. Officers say he had no terror links and acted alone. The teenager threatened a security guard with the fake gun and then forced his way into the studio. His motive remains unclear. Speaking calmly to someone off camera, he said, "We were hired by the security service," before police burst in and arrested him without a struggle. No one was injured, but it did force the station, national broadcaster NOS, off the air for about an hour. All right, Tony, what do you have for us in sports today?
Well, we've got a recap of last night's exciting semi-final in the Australian Open, where Britain's Andy Murray overcame a slow start against Czech Tomas Berdych to advance to the Australian Open men's final. Murray dropped the first set in a tiebreaker before he rallied to win the